Hello, how are we doing? Good morning. Is there anybody there? Okay, so today we're doing something slightly different. So a bit like those game shows, you know, where they kind of record the episode live. That's what I thought we'd do today. I'm going to do one of my content videos, which shouldn't take too long. I'm going to basically have a go at doing it now. What do you think to that idea? Slightly stressful, but I thought, why don't I give it a go? Because you know how I'm really into the idea of sort of just getting multiple things done in one go. I thought this would be a good idea to do that. So that's where I'm at with it. But apart from that, good morning, everybody. Do say hello in the chat, because it can be lonely being an artist and that. On a YouTube channel at 6 a.m. So I'll just see this camera. Right there. Oh, sorry, a bit of a close-up of me there. Just got to get everything right. Camera angle right. Lights are all on. Hair's not too bad. Wow, everybody's quiet today, aren't they? Really quiet. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to show everybody a plugin that I've been using that solved a problem for me. So it's very good. And something I've been wanting to get for a while. And I've now got it. Right, a bit of a coffee first, I think, before I start. Just getting the hair right's the thing, innit? With headphones. It's like I've got a weird quiff now. Oh, Graham. Right, that's it. That'll have to do. No, it's not right, is it? Well, anyway. All right, morning, Graham. How are you doing? It's cold, but it's getting lighter, isn't it? That's a good thing, isn't it? It's getting lighter, which I do like. Honestly, it's so vain, isn't it? Trying to get the lights right. But I thought this would be a laugh, actually, just trying to do a content video live on here. Plus, you'll get to see what it is at first hand, because I've done a guitar one, and then it's XXL Bass. That's what I'm going to be doing today. This is the idea. But everybody's very quiet this morning, so I'm gonna have to start very soon. So I think the first thing to do, yeah, there's been none of that. So this is what you do. So I think what we can do is we can make the thumbnail while we're waiting, right? So I've had an idea on how to do this. All right. So if I just get the thing that I'm doing up. Like that. I'll shut that window. And what we'll do is we can use this shot, because I knew it would come in handy. I'll get this nice and big. Like that. Right, that's as big as it goes. Right, and then just move that out of the way, move the chat out. Okay, and then all I've got to do is just get in the shot. Like that. And smile. And think of a pose, right? So I think that'll probably do. With my arms folded, looking very content. Yeah, that's the first thing. But then the next thing is we need to get into it. So I've got to think what to say. Firstly, who's the plugin by? Denise Audio Bass XXL. All right. Then just, suppose it's just acting casual. Sorry about this, everybody. But here we go. Hi everyone, Hutch here, and today I'm going to show you one of my favourite plugins at the moment, which saves me a lot of time. And this plugin in question is Denise's Bass XXL, and what it is a bass enhancement tool using, it's a subharmonic, it's a subharmonic generator. Let's do that. It's a subharmonic generator, so what it's doing is it's basically distorting the lower frequencies and creating higher harmonic. So basically, what it's doing is it's distorting lower harmonics and creating higher harmonics. So we can hear the low end on smaller speakers, and it's just a great tool for fattening sounds up. So I'll tell you what, let's get into it now, and we'll have a look at it. Right, and then obviously that's a cut, and then we go to here. Right, Bass XXL, bass. Right, Bass XXL. Here we go. So the reason I'm actually using this at the minute, and it's saving me a lot of time, is basically in my writing template. Basically in my writing template, a lot of the times I feel that my snares are quite thin, especially if I'm not doing a dance beat. If I'm doing a dance beat where basically you've got 4 kick drums on the quarter beats, then it's perfectly fine because you've got a kick underneath your snare and you don't notice it too much. But let's say I'm doing a break beat and I haven't got kicks supporting snares, then there's a lot of low end lacking there. And what I feel I have to do is then layer it with another snare, and sometimes you've got to find that right snare or generate it through a synth or whatever, and sometimes that's just too time consuming, and a lot of bass enhancements tool can add latency as well. And in my project, I absolutely on zero tolerance when it comes to plugins that actually have latency. And the reason being is I play guitar and I want the computer to be working as fast as possible. So when I'm playing, I'm not having to deal with any timing issues. So pretty much all of the plugins that I'll use don't really carry any latency, and if they do, it's like basically next to nothing. So basically Denise's Bass XXL is brilliant because it is actually zero latency. I'll just grab it up here. So this is what it looks like. One of the cool things about it is that it has graphic representation at the top here, so you can actually see on this frequency spectrum where the low end's actually hitting, so you can dial in where you want the harmonic generation to happen. So I'll just go from just through the controls here, right? So we've got our view here, and then the first thing we come across is this the frequency. So this lets us just dial in the frequency that we want this to hit, okay, for it to work. You have a few different choices here though. You have note. So basically this will just, you can see there it's changing the notes. You can find the fundamental and boost the fundamental, so technically you can boost it in key with your track. And we also have MIDI, so you can also feed MIDI into this, and then what will happen there is this will actually track the say if you were doing a bass, this enhancement will track with each note rather than it being static and just on one note and enhancing that. This will actually move, so which is brilliant. Today, because my snare is just sort of in one place, I'm just going to use it in the frequency mode. Okay, so then we have harmonics, and this is just the harmonic generation. So to be really correct about this, I'm sure we can have, let me see, is it working? Oh, maybe not. Anyway, yeah, so the harmonics, that's just how much of this is like the effect. And we also have oversampling mode as well. Then we have the boost. So the boost is just, to me, it's like the wet and dry. So that's how much of the harmonics do you want to actually hear happening. And it has this really clever switch, which I'll show you, which is the solo mode. So we can switch off the actual dry sound going into this and only hear the effect. So that means you can hear just what this plugin's doing and really shape that low end nicely. We have the pre-delay. So the pre-delay is a feature I've never seen on any enhancement, like bass enhancement tools, really, that I've used, and I've used a fair few. What's great about this is we can actually delay the effect of this. So with this snare that we're going to be using, one thing that's preferable is that you want the transients to be left alone. Sometimes putting an effect on like this can take away some of those transients and dull them. What this allows us to do is basically delay that. So in delaying that, it means the transients you can clearly hear those. Those are unaffected by Bass XXL. Are unaffected by Bass XXL because we can just delay it. We can just delay the effect, and you'll hear that in soon. Mono just means we can have basically whatever this effect does. It's 100% in, either stereo or in mono. Okay. And then we have the slope. So the slope is just how much of the area is affected by this, and how smooth the effect sounds. And then finally, we have the octave. Now, the octave thing is just how far do you want the harmonics to extend up the frequency range. So the higher this is, basically, the brighter this will sound. And then the lower, if you're just in the one octave, that's only the low frequencies that are getting the enhancement. So I hope that's clear there. And then I think the next thing really is just to give this a whirl and just go through it, yeah? All right. How am I doing? Have a quick check on the chat. Right. Graham, how's that sounding? We can have audience participation. Everybody else is dead quiet. Come on, say hello. I'm lonely. More coffee, that's what I need. I'm wondering if I should do that intro again. I'll get through this. I tell you what though, it feels a lot easier doing it this than actually in front of people instead of doing this on a live. Yeah, so not as flowing as my live normally, that is true. Well, we can go again. Let's get through this. I tell you what, we'll go again, alright? We'll go again. What time is it? It's not taking too long, is it? So it's hard work, this, you know. Right. It's because I can't see enough people in the chat. I need to lose a bit of weight off my face as well. Right, let me have a think. Alright, let's go for it. Hi everybody, Tim Hutch here and welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you one of my favourite plugins at the minute, and this is Bass XXL by Denise Audio. And this is a tool that's actually saved me a ton of time. What it does is it just enhances basses. It's a sub-harmonic generator. So in other words, you can use this on sounds to help them cut through on smaller speakers and to just generally fatten them up, and to just generally fatten them up. So one of the ways that I've been actually using this is on various percussion instruments that I think are particularly thin. So in other words, I'm just using it as a layering tool. So anyway, I'll tell you what we'll do is we'll just get into it and then you can actually see what this is all about. Yeah. Yeah. So the idea is I get it all in one. This is the idea. Right, okay. But I think at the end of the day, you know, all right, so here is the plugin, Bass XXL. So I'll just tell you what the controls do as we go along. So this top part is basically to do with the frequency. So we can actually see where all of our frequencies are landing and we can find where the fundamental frequency is. So we can basically aim this plugin at it. So the first control that we have is the root. Okay, and then all this is doing is it just allows you to find the fundamental that you want to enhance. Okay, and then you can get the plugin to operate on it. But we do have several flavors on this. So we've got frequency, which is what I've got it set to, which is just great for sounds like kick drums and snares or anything that's not really moving about. So it doesn't need to be actually dynamic. Then we have note, so it can actually feed, then we have note. So on note, what we can do here is basically we can dial in the exact note that we want, so it can be in key with our tune. And then finally MIDI. And then MIDI is we can feed MIDI into this and this plugin will track. So say there's a bass and there's 3 notes, then basically the enhancement will follow those 3 notes. So you get nice even sub-harmonic generation going and not just on say one note that you've selected. So that's pretty cool. And then we've got the actual harmonics. So this is like how much of the effect you're going to use, how intense you want it. And it also has oversampling for higher quality. And then the third one is basically this is boost. So to me, this is like a wet and dry. So how much of the harmonics do you want to hear? That's what this dials in. And we've got the solo button. So solo's really, really handy, simply because we can switch off the dry signal and just hear what the actual audio, what's actually happening to the audio on this plugin, which will help us like dial in the exact effect that we want. And then we can flip it back, and then we've got both the dry and the affected signal pre-delay. So I've never actually seen this on any other enhancement tools that I've used anyway. But the cool thing about this is we can delay this actual effect. So for this, I'm going to use this on a snare drum actually, and I do want the transients to cut through still. So what that means is I can delay this effect, so this subharmonic, this low end generation doesn't get near to the initial impact of the sound, because sometimes you can lose impact of transients when the subharmonic generation like happens at the same time. We have mono, so I think that way it's fully stereo. That way we're in mono. Yeah. And then we've got basically the slopes. This is just the roll off of the effect. So I think of it like lower, it's going to be smoother, sharper on higher values. And then the range is how far do you want the harmonics to extend up the frequency spectrum. So in this case, if I have it set to 2.5, the harmonic generation is going to go up the frequency spectrum for 2.5 octaves, and it's got a maximum of 3. Righty, so there we go. Right, then, so I think that's enough. That's 2 of those. That should be, somewhere in the ballpark. This is freaking me out. Why this is so quiet today? Right. All right. Let's just try this out. All right. Get my snare drum. Oh, here we go. I'll just bypass it. I wonder if I should just switch these to 0. Right. Right. Just give it a clap so I know when that starts. Right. Okay. So, here we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add... So one of the things that I've been using this for is one of the problems that I've been having is simply the snare drum. So one of the problems that I've been having lately is basically snare drum sounding a little bit thin. And I'm too lazy to I'm too lazy to find another sample and to layer it up, and I've been looking for a really quick dynamic way just to fatten that up. I mean, the problem starts usually if I'm doing a breakbeat. If you've got like a kick and it's just 4 on the floor, 4 quarter notes, and it's supporting the, a kick's actually happening at the same time as a snare, then you don't really need this tool, although it can still sound really good if you want an extra beef in your snare. But generally, when the problem happens for me, it's when I'm doing a breakbeat. So in other words, when I haven't got a kick with a snare, that snare is kind of exposed as being very sort of thin. So just it's a great way to add weight to a sound. So I'll do that in a minute here. And I'll tell you what we'll do is we'll just quickly make this into a breakbeat so we can really try this out. So quickly make a breakbeat. Here we go. But before we do that, I've got to get everything bussed in. Right. Sort this out. In, out. Alright, so this all needs to go to everything. And that needs to go with everything. to drums. Right. There we go. Sound good, those drums. All right. So, one of the ways that I like to use this plugin is to enhance snares. So sometimes a snare can sound quite thin, you know, when it's not sitting on top of on a kick drum. So here, the problem's not quite as clear because I've got a kick drum sitting at the same time as the snare. But when I'm in a situation and it's more of a breakbeat, the snare can sound a bit thin. So I'm gonna make a quick breakbeat for us. All right, let's have something like this. Right, let's see what this is like. So the kick drum's got a lot of weight to it there, but the snare, you know, that weight sort of disappears when we get to the snare, and this is what I want to use this plugin for. Now, the first thing is, when I switch it on, we can see there, okay, where the fundamental is of that snare, so that low end. So I can just dial that in. I'm going to give it a bit of sub-generation now. Right, and then we're going to find... So I'm probably right on it there. And then what we can do is we can just dial in this effect, right? So the next control I'll go to is the actual the harmonics. So you can hear that distorting there. We'll just extend the range. So you can hear that's how far up the spectrum the harmonics are distorting there. So I'm just going to go for about that. Maybe about 60%. Right, we'll go there. And then finally, if we take it out to solo, so you can hear that weight. And then finally, we'll just delay the generation a little bit. So I'll exaggerate this, so you can hear it flamming there. Okay. I think 12 sounds better. And that is how I'm using Bass XXL. And that's how I'm using Bass XXL. It's just absolutely saving me a ton of time, and I highly recommend you getting it as well. So, trying to think, what else do I need to say? Approximate price. Oh yeah, right. Right, how much is it, Graham? Let's have a look. Bass. $39. Okay, so that's just one of the ways that I'm using. So that's basically just one of the ways that I'm using Bass XXL, and it's saving me an absolute ton of time. No more digging about trying to find a deeper snare to layer. I can just put that on the plugin. I can just put that on the sound, and it's ready to go. Just quickly dial it in. And it's just, honestly, it's brilliant. So you can pick this up. It's actually on special offer at the minute, which is $39. So it's an absolute bargain. So if you've liked this video, do subscribe and get the notifications. I do regular live sessions, so if you want to ask me any stuff about music production, guitar playing, and especially on my favourite subject, the mindset of being a prolific producer, in other words, anything that's to do with coaching, I am all in. So it'd be great to see you on a live. So that's all from me for today, and bye. I did say $39, didn't I? Yeah. Okay. Right, so that should do, shouldn't it? I reckon. I must admit, it's really interesting doing videos because you're right, Graham, there's that kind of wooden thing, isn't there? Because I'm not free-flowing. And I honestly think I was struggling with that when I did, the first video, and when I did the guitar. I've struggled with that all the time, and I honestly think it's just practice, isn't it? It's the more you do. But I've enjoyed the live thing. It lights a fire under you, and you have to get it done in a certain time limit. Otherwise, I just mither on. Hi, Miss Lemmy. Miss Lemmy, I've got a feeling you'd be good at the makeup. You'd be the virtual makeup artist. Have you just come on the live now? So what I've decided to do is just do my content video live this morning. And get it done with. I think I might do the intro again though. So that's something I need to do. So have you been watching? Have you just come onto the live now? Yeah, I think you're right. I think the thing is with lives is... All right, good. So what did you think, Lemmy? Because the one of the reasons is, there's two reasons. A, when I'm creative, I like to do it live now, and I'm just really used to it. It just helps me to think more clearly and get to the point of things. The other thing is that I do have, at the end of the day, this makes loads of sense to me because you guys are sort of like the end users of potentially the products or stuff that I talk about. So it would make sense that if I do this live, that actually you can tell me what you want to hear about, when I'm talking about something like this. What do you guys want to know? And what haven't I done in the video? Is my hair okay? Is the lighting all right? So it's a bit like having a production crew, isn't it? That's the thing. Plus, I thought it'd be a fun thing to do now and then. Get everybody involved. It's like one of those, when they do a live TV show. It's a bit like that. Yeah, so I think that's the other thing is because I get to, you think there's casual leaning. Yeah, I think you're right. So I could do... Yeah. So in other words, is it okay to do... Because I'll do the intro again. I'll do a casual intro, yeah? Okay. Is that all right? Oh, God, I think I've got my T-shirt backwards again. I'm not changing it. It's going to have to be Oh no, it's on the front. It's on the right way. I can feel the logo at the front. All right. Hi everybody, Tim Hutch here, and welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to show you one of my favourite program. Jesus. Oh God, I need a swear button. I need a. Oh, Thomas has got. Hi everyone, Tim Hutch here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today, what we're going to be talking about is one of my favourite plugins that I'm using at the moment, and that is Denise Audio's Bass XXL. So this is basically a sub-harmonic generation tool. In other words, what it does is it beefs up your low end in a really, really cool way. And the reason I've been using this actually is just to save time. So usually in my template when I'm writing, it's all about having plugins that are zero latency, and the first thing about this plugin is it's absolutely zero latency. And the reason I have zero latency is because I play guitar, and sometimes I just want to play guitar live into a project straight away. And if you've got latency, sometimes you're dealing with timing issues. So this doesn't add any latency for the start. And also, it sounds really good. So just with sub-harmonic generation, if you're not sure, it beefs up the low end by adding harmonic extensions up the frequency spectrum. In other words, what you would use this tool for is to make sure that you can hear low end on smaller speakers that don't have the capacity to play lower fundamentals. So so what we'll do is we'll just get into it. All right then. Smart Alec, this is like mental, isn't it? What am I doing with my life? Oh, God. I should just put the whole thing up. And have different visions. I don't want to do loads of takes. I think it's just, there's never going to be a perfect one, is there? Maybe imagine the camera as a person. Of course, I'm imagining the camera as a person, Graham. But it's not, it's a robot. Oh my God. I just might have to be one. Oh, God. Right, need more coffee. God, whose idea was this? I'm doing so well. I'm going to crack this. But right, this is the whole thing though, right? And I'm glad I'm doing this, and I'm doing this in front of everybody simply because I'm a music coach, and I'm constantly telling everybody, right, to do stuff out of their own comfort zone. So at least, right, you know, this is definitely one of those situations where I'm leading by example. So I absolutely suck on this camera, and that's fine. And when I'm coaching people with the music, it's a fact. Your music's going to suck, right? And you're going to hate what you're doing, right? But if you keep going with it, you know, you'll crack it and you'll soon write stuff that's amazing. And this is exactly the same thing. I'm completely challenged by this. It's brilliant. I'm really enjoying it. Fix it with AI. I'm not fixing it with AI. Even if I could, this is you know, I'm kind of enjoying this. All right, Scott, are you on? Right, okay, the team's here. Right. I just want to check that I've actually got the friggin' name of this right. I keep thinking I'm doing bass XXXXXXL with loads of X's. Right, it is, and they are called Denise Audio, because then I thought, like, hold on, is it just Denise, or is it Denise Audio? But it does say audio in tiny little. The pain I've been through on actual sets trying to get, but you see, I never knew you did film stuff, to get people who are literally actors to act properly. Trust me, you are doing well. Good. Right, we're going to do this every morning till it's done, right? Every morning we're going to practice this simple intro. No. We have got a time limit though here, so we can go through it. Oh, God. Right. Sorry about this. Right. I'm hoping I've already got it. Yeah. Yeah, I once got a part on an extra on Elizabeth I, but I never showed up. Because it required me to be half naked, and I just thought I'm not going to do that and remove my body piercings, so I didn't fancy doing that. I was hoping that I would be an archer or a knight, not half naked. Oh dear. I'm hoping. You know what it is, right? Like when I flick to this, right? No, not to that. When I flick to this, I'm explaining something, so it's hard to it's hard not to be anything other than wooden. Right. Okay, let's just go again, right? Here we go. Okay. Be casual. Hi everyone, Hutch here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to show you a plugin that I've been using that's actually saved me a lot of time. The plugin in question is Denise Audio's Bass XXL, and what it is it's a sub-harmonic generator. And the cool thing about that is it does save me a lot of time. So lately, one of the problems that I've been facing has been that my snares sound weak on the low end. And this is particularly apparent, say, when I'm doing a breakbeat and I haven't got a kick supporting a snare. In other words, the kick isn't happening at the same time as a snare, and that snare is exposed on its own, and you can hear that it's quite, thin and fragile. Should we put it that way? And I want it to be thick and mean. So this is the plugin that I actually use to do that, and it saves, as I said, a lot of time in doing that. And with the subharmonic generation, all it's doing is it's adding higher harmonics to the top end, and by doing this, it allows you to hear the sound on smaller speakers. Okay, it's all very, very clever. Believe you me. The other thing, it's a zero latency plugin. I have to say that because at the moment my template, most of the plugins, pretty much without exception, are zero latency, and I need zero latency simply because a lot of the time I'm playing guitar straight into a project, and I don't want to run into any timing issues. So that's also really important. So you can use this tool creatively at the beginning of a project, which I absolutely love. It means I'm not digging about trying to find another snare that's actually got that low end to then layer with the one that I have. So I think what we'll do is we'll get into it, and then I can show you what this plugin is all about. Right, I can't be any more casual than that. That is it. That's all I've got, Scott. Right, feedback. Lemmy, how was that? Will I get away with that? I felt this one of my hands started involuntary twitching. And we can go through the plugin again, can't we? Sorry about this. I'm not going to do this every morning, by the way. That was good. All right, so we've done that. And I think I said Hutch and I didn't say Tim Hutch. Seemed good. So maybe I've got to go, hi everyone, Tim Hutch here and welcome to my YouTube channel. Hi, Tim Hutch here and welcome to my YouTube channel. Fuck's sake. Hi, Timmy. No. All right. Hi, Tim Hutch here and welcome to my YouTube channel. All right, that'll do. Right, yeah, because I've got to be smiley and a bit like I don't care, you know, but I do care. That's the thing, is it's the casual nature. But dealing with the life and death issues of music making and shredding on a guitar. That's what I'm all about. Right. Confidence. Thanks for the offer. But I know what this is. I know that actually it's what we've got is we've got a Venn diagram, haven't we? So we've got Tim on a live where I'm talking quite nicely like this, right? And then we've got Tim doing a YouTube video. And then we've got like kind of regurgitated facts in the middle. And it's trying to kind of get that balance correct, isn't it? It's trying to get the facts into the casual nature, you know. So it's quite difficult to do, really. Just Hutch was okay, so I can go just with the Hutch thing. But the other thing is like none of these videos have to be perfect. I'm fully aware that, you know, they're going to have to be. I mean, even now there's an improvement because I'm actually talking into the camera more, and not actually looking at the chat over there. That's important. Oh, thank you. Let me. I think I take you up on that because all coaches need a coach. You know, I've never not been coached since 2014. I've had a coach every time. I've had several coaches. I had 2 coaches at one point. I had like a life sort of general keeping me well. Oh, that was it. That was in the pandemic. So I happened to have an occupational therapist friend who was also a trained coach, and that was really lucky that happened to be there. And then me being a music coach, we just took turns in coaching each other once a week, and that was really, really good. If I didn't have that, I don't know, like in the stressful time that was, if I didn't have that, I don't know how I would have got through it, because the one thing I did manage to do with that coaching is keep basically my life intact, pretty much 100%. Apart from having to strip naked outside the house to decontaminate every day, you know, it was all good. All right, okay, Lemmy, that's good. Right, just send me an email, and then I've got you there. Like I've got the emergency. All right then. Let's just go through the plugin one more time, and then that's it. Then I've done this. This is like, and then I don't know. We'll have a listen to this track because I'm quite pleased with it at the minute. Okay. Right, there we go. Bass XXL. Look at that. Doesn't it look amazing? Wow. Okay, everybody. So here is Bass XXL. And this is the thing that's been saving me time in my productions. So I'm just gonna, I'll just go through and just explain all of the controls, right? So firstly, we've got a spectrum analyzer at the top here. And this is just so when we can actually find the exact fundamental frequency that we want to dial in. So that's really, really handy, the fact that we can visually see where the sweet spot is, as well as hearing it, although I would recommend to use your ears at all times. So the first control we've got is the root, okay? So it just moves this little white line about, and then you can find the center point of your fundamental frequency in the low end. All right, and then that's kind of directing the harmonic enhancement. But we do have a few different flavors on this frequency control. So one of them is note. So with note, we can actually dial in the pitch, which is very, very handy if you want something to be in key. Let's say you had just a bass, right, and it was just on E, then you can dial this in exactly E. We can hit E3 there. And then that's going to generate all the harmonics so you can hear it. And then the other thing which I really like is the fact that it's got MIDI enhancement, so it can feed MIDI in this. So let's say a bass note was playing a number of notes, then the plugin would read the MIDI and basically it would just track with those notes, with those fundamentals. So that's really cool. So back to frequency, which is what I'm going to use. And we've got harmonics next. So harmonics, basically that's just how intense you want this effect. So that's quite obvious, but we do have oversampling as well for better quality. And then we have our boost control, which I just think of like a wet dry. So that's just how much of the harmonics, how much of this effect do we want to hear. And then we've got a solo button. The solo button is very, very handy because what it allows us to do is switch the original dry sound completely off, and then we only hear the wet sound, so we only hear what this generator is doing. And that way we can really shape the sound because we can hear it in isolation, basically. Very handy. And then we have the pre-delay. So I've never seen a pre-delay on enhancement tools before that I've used anyway. But the reason this is so handy and well thought out is because, well, for example, I'm using this on a snare drum, which you'll hear in a minute, and I don't want this bass enhancement to clutter up the very beginning of the snare sound, because that beginning of the snare sound, that's where the transients are, and that's the impact. So sometimes adding low end can affect how those transients cut through. So by adding pre-delay, very similar to a reverb actually, it's actually delaying what this effect is doing, okay? And then finally we have mono, so we don't always want to have our basses basically in stereo because it can cause like absolute havoc when it comes to mono compatibility. So it makes sense to basically have things in mono. Sorry, just need to sniff. Oh God, right, anyway. And then So anyway, continuing on, we have the slope filter, and that's good. So that's just like to do with how smooth this effect is. So on a lower slope, it's going to sound smoother, and then we're going to have it like a little bit more angular and harsher, I would imagine, on the 48 dB, but we'll have a listen to that. And then we've got the range. So the range is how far do you want the harmonics to extend to. So if I have it at 3, this effect's going to extend higher up the frequency range. Lower, it's going to be lower. So I'll give this a go anyway. Here is the snare drum. So what I'll do, I'm just going to solo this. So you can actually hear, just with these settings, the snare, and there's no effect there. So as I bring this in, see the white line, we found the fundamental there. And then what I can do is just add in so there it's quite snappy. Okay, and then this is how much you want to hear. So basically, for the boost, it's on 0, can't hear anything, and then we can just, and then we're really getting like low end there popping through. So that's it in solo. So you can hear basically what this plugin's doing. You can hear the harmonics there crunching away. So the range, I'm just going to jump to the range. So I probably don't want it to extend that high. And I'm going to focus this more on the low end of the snare drum. So I think like 24 dB is more, sounds more subtle. But that's to do, I think, with the roll off of the effect either side. And then that sounds pretty mono anyway. So we'll bypass it. Sorry, we'll take this off solo. And I'll just bypass it, and we can hear. So that's without, with, without, with. Let's hear it with the drums all together. I'll just solo the drums. Again, I'll just switch it off. You see how like thin that sounds? Okay, so 59 sounds good to me. Put in with the rest of the track. Alright. Quick fix here. I'll just do a clap. There we go. Okay, and let's put it in with the rest of the track. So that's with it, without, with, okay, and that's my favorite plugin. Okay, so that's my favorite plugin that I'm using at the moment, and it's really good. And as I say, it's saved lots of time. So if you like what you've been seeing, do subscribe and get the notifications. I do regular live streams, so it'd be great to see you on there, and feel free to ask me any questions. And that's it, really. All right, I'm done with this. I'm exhausted, and the day hasn't even begun. Right, Lemmy, everybody. Okay. Alright, good. Right. Alright, here we go. As someone with limited knowledge on production, I learned something here, so it was good, clear information. You didn't rush over what you were telling us, and the info came across as informative. Not smug. Good. Right. Oh, just put my leg up like that. I'm exhausted now. It's like 7. I don't know how Thomas puts himself through this, you know. So, all right, we're still okay. Right. So, any feedback from anyone? Let's see. So, that's great. I probably just need to do the end of the video. We need to get that right, and then I think we're sorted. Put the chat there. So the end of the video. Getting good. Right, okay. Definitely good. Well, this is good because this is what you want, rapid. You want this kind of progress, and like, I think this is like one of the best morning sessions I've done, simply because you can see me struggle. You can see me doing the fight, and this is that whole thing I was talking about, you know, the 4Cs. All right. So we have commitment, and I've certainly made a commitment to do this, right? And it's like super challenging, and I can really feel the courage that I need to do this, because at any point there's that thing in the back of my mind, and it's so strong, saying, give up. You don't have to do this, right, Tim? You can just quit doing it. People will be a bit disappointed, but they'll disappear. You know, I've got all of that kind of stuff going on in my head all the time, but I'm not. I'm pushing it out the way, because I know that is part of this process, because I can feel that I'm getting better at it, and I can see that I'm getting better at it the more that I do. So, you know, that's really important, and that's the 4Cs, isn't it? Commitment, courage, then you get new capabilities. I mean, when we're talking about new capabilities, when I did, there were almost like lectures in January, very vaguely planned lectures on things that I found useful in my career in terms of like coaching and mindset and things like that. And, you know, that was really challenging, because it was just awful when I first started doing it, and I thought, I'm going to do a month for this, but I put myself through it, just turning up, no music, no nothing, and just talking to a camera and talking to you guys. And then I realized actually how much better I got on the camera. So that was really good. And then I got new capabilities, and that's actually the progression of that is like led on to doing, well, I'll do content. I might as well do content, because it's a massive gap in my career. It's a huge gap, and I think there's a lot of opportunity there. And it's the only way that I actually see the coaching business progressing in an exponential way, is to create this sort of like YouTube funnel, where basically I'll talk about my favorite book that I'm reading, or I'll talk about a plugin that I'm using, but it saves time. Or a particular approach on guitar that I've done that sort of I felt that's given me an edge that's worth doing. Because I think like one thing on guitar is something like the 313, an economy picking. It's a time commitment, and there's always that doubt that, you know, if I do this and it doesn't work out, well, I've wasted my time. And I'm sort of reassuring people that actually you're never wasting your time, and you just have to go for it. But what you have to do is you have to have courage, don't you? And you have to push to the bitter end to get to where you want to go. And that's what it is. It's like learning something's difficult, isn't it? It's like our brain. It's like our brain puts us in that discomfort, and that's because it's got no data. It's doing something new. You know, when I'm doing these content videos, I don't really know what the future is, and that's where all the resistance comes from. Of, you know, Tim, Hutch, you don't have to do this. You can just do your lives with Thomas once a fortnight, and see your friends in the morning. You know, do a bit of music. You know, that kind of thing. Mention the coaching business when you get a chance, and if you forget, doesn't matter. There's always the next day. You know, I'm getting all of that sort of stuff. So, that's another thing. And then finally, you know, that's where you get confidence. And I saw, and doing those talks last January on the live, which, you know, anybody wants to go back and watch them, you can do. There's some good stuff there, actually, some really good stuff there. But then you get confidence. You know, that's initially what happens. So that's the 4Cs: commitment, courage, new capabilities, confidence. And that's another content video I've done. So that's 2. So if you've enjoyed what I've been talking about today, do subscribe to the channel and get the notifications. And you can catch me on one of my live shows, which happen regularly every week. and you can ask me questions then. Especially, you know, I'm really interested in people who are looking at the inner game of music. You know, how we think and how we feel about what we're doing is just as important as the outer game, the tools that we're using and the techniques, you know. But overcoming sort of fear, putting skills to one side and just, you know, focusing in on the other conditions to be successful as a musician is really what I specialize in as a coach. So it'd be great to answer some of those questions. I'm really interested actually on, you know, trying to coach people on the live just through text. That would be a pretty cool thing to do as well. So apart from that, I will see you next time. Bye. Right. Okay. So I've got two videos. We've got the 4 Cs, which I've just decided to do now, and then I've got that other video, and I can compare the two. Right, and I think somewhere between the two is what I'm meant to be doing. Right. Whew. Right, Lemmy, as your production manager, director, how was that? Do you think I've got 2 videos there? Okay, cool. Now, I'll tell you what, I'll just do the intro for the 4 Cs now, okay? Hi everyone, Hutch here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Now, today, what I'm going to be talking about is the 4 Cs. Courage, commitment. Oh, for fuck's sake. Why, when I do it, right, then I'll put it in completely the wrong order. Right. Hi everyone, Tim Hutch here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Hi everyone, Hutch here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be talking about the 4 Cs, and this is the learning process that we go through. So usually we start with commitment, courage. I missed my hand. All right, one more time. Hi everyone, Hutch here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to talk about the 4 Cs. And what are the 4 Cs? Well, the 4 Cs is an overview of our learning process. And the first C is commitment, the second C is courage, the third one is new capabilities, and the fourth one is confidence, and we're going to be talking about that today. Right, that'll do. I've had enough. All right, it's 25 minutes past. God. Right, who's here? We've got 8 people on here. I bet this has been a laugh. Watching me do this. This has got to be like one of my finer moments on YouTube Live. Interesting, yeah, it is, isn't it? Watching me freak out. So sorry, Lemmy, can you just clarify that? Because and everybody can have an opinion. You know, I want to hear what you think of this, because at the end of the day, right, this makes total sense to me to be doing this live because you guys are the end user, and I can use this to get instant feedback on what I'm doing, and I can just course correct now and then. I mean, doing this in front of you is like just the best thing ever, because I can feel I'm getting better and better and better rapidly. So it's super interesting. Maybe not for the faint-hearted. I honestly think you can cut this into 2 and maybe even 1 more. Right, what have I got to do? Have I got to do the intro again, Lemmy, and be more casual? For the 4 Cs. I think doing right, I like just being absolutely casual. That's the thing I need, so, you know. Hi everyone, Hutch here, and today I'm going to be talking about the 4 Cs. What are the 4 Cs? Well, it's a great overview of the learning process that we go through. So the way it starts is we have commitment, we have courage, then we have actually I don't actually need to go through it like that. I just need to go, hi, Tim Hutch here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Or I need to go, hi everyone, Tim Hutch here, and welcome to my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be talking about the 4 C's. So what are the 4 C's? Hi everyone, Tim Hutch here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be talking about the learning process, and one thing that's massively helped me is the 4 C's. So what are the 4 C's? Well, the 4 C's are commitment, courage, then after those 2 things we get new skills, and then finally confidence. So let's get to it. Yeah, that'll do. Right, I'm exhausted. That's it. I mean, I haven't even started the day, and I'm like, tired. Very good. Excellent, Lemmy. Do send me an email. You are now a production manager, director, and virtual makeup artist. Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you what's interesting though, it's just getting ready for this, because what you've got to remember is I've literally, the alarm goes at 6 and I have to get all of this set up by and I try and get on here as close to 6:15 as I can, with a coffee in hand, hopefully. But like last night I had to think ahead, so one handy tip was I used dry shampoo. So, and my hair was pretty good this morning, so I did dry shampoo before I went to bed, which my daughter told me was a great tip. So I thought now's the time to try it, and then a quick blast of it when I got up. So the hair's been all right, because I was worried in case, like, it looks a bit greasy sometimes. I think like when you see me on a Monday, by the time I get to Wednesday, I can look a bit unkempt, and then it's like shower day. So it's just like, keeping yourself looking fresh in the morning. That was a challenge. But it takes a lot of energy, this, I must admit. Good. Send me a list of ideas. I like this. No, I mean, so these are good. Actually, these are really interesting points, and actually, I wish this live could go on longer, because this is the kind of stuff that I help people coach on the music. You're great for doing that. I think with the guys, it's not that forced on you to be perfect on camera all the time. No, it's not. And this is what I say is like that. Well, there is no such thing as perfection, and one of the things that I encourage people to do is to embrace unperfect sounds. And I'm a fan of the Japanese philosophy of wabi-sabi, which is appreciation of the imperfect. The imperfect has a soul. The Japanese love like a ruined building with a broken roof with moss on it, or a chipped teacup, because that chipped teacup tells a story of what what possibly could have happened to that chipped teacup. And then it's mended, and it's a thing of beauty, isn't it? That tells a story that actually has a soul. And if we had perfect music, which will be like what AI knocks out, there is no soul, and it leaves you cold, and you can't connect to it as well as you can. But like Western culture obsesses over perfection, and a lot of YouTube that you see is that, isn't it? It's like this perfect representation, and you just I don't want to be that. For a start, I want to be in some way real, but I do have to be clear on what I'm doing. On the other hand, so it's an interesting balance. I'm fascinated by all of this, and I mean, I've noticed since doing just sort of the videos how much more creative I am anyway in sort of my music, my guitar playing. It kind of, it's firing up the brain, isn't it? And as I say, I think it's a great opportunity for people to see me at the beginning of my journey doing this, and it also means I'm making a commitment to myself doing this, and I think these are all really important things to do, to really impact on your behavior, to make you, fully committed to the cause, because, at the end of the day, I've come this far, I'm not going back. That's for sure. So I've, so it's helped my music. I'm doing my video thing. It's presenting's all happening, and it's massively helping my coaching, because I know it's a reminder of where I started this whole thing, which is brilliant. So, and that being said, it's Tuesday today, so there's no stream tomorrow. I'll be back on Thursday with some more shenanigans. And then I'm going to have to, and then Friday should be on. And then Saturday, I do believe it's a live with me and Thomas. Shredding away. Yeah. So I wasn't actually, because I was doing this today, I wasn't actually going to leave this live video up. I thought, but that's the other thing, isn't it? Which goes against sort of my philosophy. This morning, I had the full intention of like, right, I'll just take the footage and I'll delete it off YouTube. I'm not going to post it up. But actually, I'm going to leave this. I'll retitle it, and I'll call it Making Content Live for the first time. And then people can see that. And I think it'll go there as a reminder of basically, to me, where I started. So it's a benchmark so I can see how much I've progressed. And also, it's there just for a bit of encouragement for other people so they can see, what you go through live. And that's it. And I hope to do more of these, actually, because it's been a really fun time this morning. It has. Almost probably life-changing, to be fair. In all honesty, I think you've made people aware of the effort that goes into this. Yeah. It's good to go back over and see how far you've come in the future. Absolutely. And that's one thing I do like about a lot of YouTubers, like Andrew Huang, is he's left his first videos up there, and you can just see like the progression. It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, the next thing's the video editing, like how flashy I get with video editing. I'm going to try not to be. I'm going to try and be just raw and brutal. But we'll see. These things can suddenly take over, and I can fall down that rabbit hole quite easily. Anyway. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I hope it hasn't been too boring for you. We'll be back to making some music on Thursday and Friday, and shredding on Saturday. And I'll see you guys then. All right, then. Thank you. Bye.